Okay, this worked again. Okay, I remembered something that I wanted to talk about and I forgot about. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna talk about Mulan, but okay, I checked a little bit this before. I was like, try guys, comparing the princesses and everything, and then I remembered more crap because then I started playing the first few seconds, and then they talked about, they just went through. They're like, hey, we're comparing all of these princesses, all these Disney princesses, all these princesses you saw when you were little, like Cinderella, Snow White, Mulan, Jasmine from Aladdin. That took a while for me to remember. It was easier because I was like, there was this girl that I was friends with and we played with. She died in a car accident, and then my father played a prank on me. He said, "Oh, the mother and the child, your friend and their mother died in a car crash," and it turned out it was just a kid. And then we went to their funeral and all that crap. They had the same name. Okay, and they also put it on the bench for a while. Great. And then the whole deal with their younger brother was goddamn mess. Hate the bastard. No, we gotta move on. Okay, Mulan. Okay, so a little bit into the video, then they talked about all the different characters. There's also whoever is in Princess Frog. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. Where you're like, kiss the frog, you kiss the frog, he turns into a prince, that crap. Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah. There's Princess and the Frog. Okay, now I'm just thinking about chick flicks like, what are our favorites? Just Ella is a different conversation, not just going on and on about Cinderella. We don't care about Cinderella, we don't care about her now. No. Oh, because Enchanted is like it. I thought it was pretty funny. I think it was Enchanted. I don't remember. There were too many I saw. Mostly Enchanted and another one, and I was like, they're kind of cool. And they have both women fighting and everything. And one of them I thought was also kind of Enchanted, but I'm not sure. There's a whole mess. Her mother was the queen, but her mother is dead, and she pretended to be the queen and wore the old clothes, or like a princess, and she pretended to wear the clothes and everything that she wore the clothes that her dead mother had and everything like that. Okay, let's get this out of the way. And then her stepmother and her stepfeelings and everything, since the father died, they'd fully taken over, and they treated her like a maid, and they denied that they were really mostly even related. And they just said that, oh, she's really like a maid that just works for us and everything. So she lied to you, even though she's been dancing with the prince and pretending to be royalty and a noble. But they're like, oh, she's just a commoner or whatever, and she's not. She's still part of nobility. And then they literally sell her. So they demote her to a slave, and they sell her to a man that kept pursuing her, and that was older and everything, that she didn't want to marry. And she refused to marry no matter what. And so then her family just sold her to him and sold off all of her heirlooms and everything she was inherit and that she had, and she was hiding because it was her mother's and it was for her, and they burned her shoes and her dress and all that crap. Yeah. And like the gardener she's hanging out with and helping everything, and the other servants, mostly just the gardener and maybe like the cook, I think. I think I was only it. She just has to do everything pretty much in the house anyway, though. But they helped her, and they helped raise her, and they took care of her. And then she was forced to leave them, and she had to live with him, and she kept making passes at her, and just sex harassment, and kept trying to touch her and everything. And then she escapes by her own wit, and she's not saved by Prince. I love that. She saves herself, because he made the mistake of being like, oh, she, like, finally accepted me and crap. And I was like, that's... She didn't even have to flirt with him and pretend that she was like, oh, I'm interested in you, or whatever, and trick him. Yeah, no. And mostly like, oh, release me and I'll marry you. Like, none of that happened. Instead, he had her polishing swords all day. He was a sword collector and everything. This idiot, well, mostly, she just didn't tell him, he didn't know. She could use swords. She knew how to cut people with them. She could kill people if she wanted to. She threatened him, and she put a sword to his neck, and she said, release me, give me the goddamn key, or I kill you. And he's like, well, I'll still have you be hanged before morning. And she's like, you want to bet? Because you can't have me hanged if you're dead. And also, even if I do hang, you're not going to be alive to see it and see that it goes through and it happens. You're just not going to be alive. And she was serious. She's dead serious about it. And then she put it even closer, so it drew blood and everything. So he's like, yep, okay, I'll release you. And then she just started walking on her own, and the prince shows up because he's like, oh, wait, like, just because you were treated badly by your family doesn't mean that and that you didn't tell me about it, that doesn't mean you're a good person, and that I can still not be with you. I can still be with you. And I finally realized that, so I'm going to come and try and rescue you, especially when I learned that they sold you. I'm going to try and help you. And then she's like, yeah, I'm not getting with you. She's like, I didn't need saving. I don't know why you're wasting your time. Leave me the hell alone. I don't like you. And it seemed like they were still kind of a happy ending. They still got together, and I was like, but she said no, so I kind of just didn't pay attention to the rest of it, because I was like, she said no, and she wasn't interested, and she didn't like you, and I was like, that doesn't change in, like, 2 seconds, so what the hell this ending is total BS. Yeah, okay, that was a different issue, and then the other one that seemed to also be called Enchanted, girl was cursed to obey things and everything, anyone told her, and then she finally broke the curse, and she fell in love with the prince, and she was thrown in prison, and then she revolted, and, got into allies and everything, and fought monsters, and defeated them, and, did a lot of singing and dancing. It was just really funny. And she saved the prince and the kingdom at the end of the day. It was beautiful. Okay, no. I was kind of similar to Mulan, but that's similar in different ways. They're just women being badass. No. But, and then after watching it, they were like, oh yeah, Mulan's gay. And I was like, yeah, I knew that. And I was like, oh wait, this reminds me of all the anime that are kind of similar to this. I was like, oh wait. Okay, I just double check this. Okay. So I should be saying this right. Okay, so I'm gonna spell it first. Ouran, Ouran Host Club. So it's called Ouran Highschool Host Club. I don't know why. I remember the shorter version. You know, you dub the shorter version and gives you the same results, so it doesn't make a difference. But yeah, and I think I just rewatched the first episodes because I was like, yeah. I mostly just have like a clip or two saved that are cute. It's kind of like Snow White, and it's still like Mulan because it's one girl surrounded like a bunch of men. And then she's not that straight. And I was also like, that's where also Kiss Me, not him. Yeah. Except, Host Club is even more gay. Because all the males act like couples the entire time. They just flirt with each other the entire show. They flirt with each other. And they flirt a little bit with women, but mostly just with each other. I like they spend the entire show just flirting with each other. That's it. And then the main character is like, I don't care that you called me male, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Like, I don't changing my gender or my sex. I just don't care that you see me or you call me a guy instead of a girl. And you can call me a girl or a guy. You can call me what the hell you want. I don't care. And then also later on, have a bunch of girls, a whole girl school. Mostly just a bunch of lesbians. Some of them might be bisexual, but they all like act really pissed off whenever the guys are close off, and they just avoided them. They didn't like them. They just weren't happy. They're like, nope, I'm not interested. Like, nope. And you were like, yeah, 100% lesbian, because they also had their own like theater club and everything, and they were all flirting with each other, and the whole goal and everything, they just wanted to kiss this girl that was in the host club. They weren't interested when they thought it was a dude, but they were interested when they thought they realized it was a female. And they weren't interested in the guys, even if when they tried to be like them and dress as girls for a little bit. Yeah, and none of that happened. And then I was like, yeah, they also dressed up and tried drag for a while, so not really straight. And the whole kiss me, kiss not him, I was like, still a little bit gay. They were like, oh, because they still like kiss and they hug and they do all these intimate things that they don't really want to, but they're still willing to because they're like, oh, it makes the girl I'm into happy. But I was like, if you're not that against it, then that's a little suspect. And then also, later on, like, the teacher that becomes interested in the girl is, like, 100% out and proud about being bisexual, and he keeps just running with all the guys and girls. He just flirts with everybody. He's a massive flirt. And then his brother is, like, he kind of just loves everyone in the group, and he acts a little bit more intimate than the other guys, and I was like, doesn't seem 100% straight. No, not really. Even after he learns that he likes the girl, he's still the same level of intimate with the other guys, so it doesn't really change anything. He's just like, oh, I need to confess to her, and that's it. Yeah, and then she's shipping them together the entire time. So, and then also, she meets this, cosplayer, and they meet, and it turns out to be a girl and everything, and then they're okay with being flirted and kissed, and they go on a date and everything, so they're perfectly fine with being together. But, like, in the end, she doesn't choose anyone, she just goes back to her anime characters. So yeah, I was like, no one's really, like, straight. Okay, and those are the only ones I could really think of, and I really remembered off the top of my head. But yeah, no, totally suspect, and I was like, yeah, not... I was like, no one's... There, I was like, there's just a bunch of cross-dressing and both, and, like, and they're like, oh, there's only, like, Mulan who cross-dresses. Nope, not at all. Almost everyone in their troupe cross-dresses to flirt with the guards. And they can flirt with the guards. And then they fight them. They seduce them so they can knock them out. It's super cute. And I was like, it's super funny, and it's all a joke anyway, and you are supposed to understand and laugh at it, and it's fine. But you're like, yeah, I was like, if they can do that, then they're very comfortable. And they're just more open. And more willing to explore. So, not 100% straight. And then, for the guy to be like, oh, into her when he finds out it's women, like, we could tell that you admired them and you liked them as a guy before, you just couldn't, like, admit it. Because after you learned you liked her, you treated the same way you treated her before. You were like, oh, but you're supposed to treat people the same. But you're like, no, you're supposed to, but you still act more like shy or coy or more flirtatious. You're more intimate, that type of thing. No. Same level of intimacy and everything. No difference whatsoever. So, very suspicious. And then also very suspicious that you accepted them for in a non-accepting area and country and everything like that. For cross-dressing and all that. So, yeah. Very, very suspicious. No one seems really straight. And I was like, the same deal, except you know for certain characters that you're like, you're 100% not straight, and they, like, come out as not straight in the show and everything like that. So I was like, in the anime I found, they were just a lot more honest. And also I was more surprised and happy about it, because it's not like the straight-up gay ones, like Yuri on Ice. You're like, oh, but Yuri is female and not yaoi, because Y-U-R-I, two girls together. GL, I guess it's called. And then BL, you got boys love and everything like that. You got two boys together. Okay, what the hell is that called again? Dang it, it's all gone. And now we retrace our steps. Oh, okay, Yuri on Ice. And it was one of my first anime I was introduced to and everything. There were just a bunch of guys ice skating, and then they get together at the end. But a lot of them, okay, it's a different video. we're gonna talk about the confusing mess, and just the hectic craziness of age gaps in anime, because they don't make any sense, and I'm also, like, I'm really not okay with my parents' age gap, and yeah, just never, no, nope. It got a little bit better and a little bit worse, yeah. Because we were like 16 years apart, that's normal, and we're like, oh, yeah, no, it's not. They're like the same age or just a year apart or something like that. They're not even 10 years apart, they're like maybe 5, usually less. Maybe just like 2 years apart or a year apart for most couples and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, that should be the goal. We would never be interested in someone. I don't see it happening. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. They just want to work. It just doesn't work. Yeah. The real problem I have is because they're like, oh, you're just, like, assuming the age gap. And I was like, no. They, like, tell you some, so you know there's a pretty big age gap. And like, you're in ice, it's like 20 years. And then I was like, none of them look like their age. And they keep changing how they look in different scenes, so they look like different ages and everything. And it just doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I was like, they should be at least like 20 years apart. And it just doesn't really make sense. I care just less with genes and everything. And I guess one guy just never grew. But still. And then I looked it up later because I was just super confused. And then we're like, yeah, no, this doesn't make sense. Because online or whatever, they were like only like 10 and like 16 years apart, and they weren't like 20. And I was like, nope, it's not how you presented them. And it's not consistent with the whole being like, oh, when he was 5 years old, he saw him like compete in the Olympics and as a professional and everything. And I was like, he's gotta be like 25 or probably even older than that. But you're like, oh, he only like wanted to retire when he was 40 at the end. The timeline, none of it made any sense. Just since they were like, oh, he's 40 and the other guy's like 30. And I was like, nope, none of that is according to the storyline. It just doesn't make any sense. That's a confusing mess. Sorry. And then there was, but they were still adults, and I was like, okay, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't match at all with the storyline and things, so I don't know what's happening there. And then the other ones we found, they were all almost just not great relationships, and also always an underage person, and they tell you that they're underage, and they show you that they're underage, and you're like, nope, this is not legal. This is not legal. And they keep doing intimate things, and then especially when I found with stepbrothers, they were having full-blown sex and everything, and I was like, nope, none of this is legal. And you just now reconnected and just remembered each other existed, so it's not healthy whatsoever. They're really bad unhealthy relationships. Sorry, different conversation. We mostly covered that. I can't think of any other ones, but yeah, I was like, it's not straight up gay, but a little suspect. And it's also mostly just reverse harems, because most stories. Oh, there was also Special A. That was also similar, but we only watched it once or twice. Mostly because we found the other ones. We're like, oh, we like this better. There was also like a group of boys and everything. But like there wasn't anything like really suspicious. I don't really remember that well, but nothing really stood out to me. And even though I probably rewatched it now, I might find like one or two things, but probably won't. And even if like I forced it, it's probably how I'd find like one or two things that were a little suspicious and maybe not that straight, but yeah. First harem was just a bunch of boys flirting with a girl, and then your traditional harems is a bunch of girls, one guy. One guy gets all the girls, that type of thing. Yeah. And you usually see that the most, and it's usually super popular, and it was a lot rarer to find the other way around. Yeah, but And then if I did, I didn't really remember the other shows because I only really liked those two and I only rewatched those. I was really addicted to Ouran Highschool Club and watched it like a few times for a while. And then we moved on to, no, we still think about it, but we don't have to, we might make ourselves rewatch it now, I don't know. Hopefully not, hopefully we can find something else. I don't want to have to rewatch everything, they were long and there's a lot of space between those things. It's still funny and still worth it, but when I can still remember basically all the details and I can still remember it being funny and I know it's funny, I don't wanna watch it. Nope. We're just singing it out for no apparent reason. Okay. No, so yeah, so that's just the queer stuff there. Yeah, we should be done. Okay, no, back.